Well, hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Happy Friday. Happy holidays. Bienvenidos a todos. It is un poco mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. My name is Danny Deals, a.k.a. Hurricane Lopez, a.k.a. Stock Karen, a.k.a. DJ Patchy Drizzle, a.k.a. The Big Hoagie. Call me whatever you want, but just don't call me late for dinner. Guys, I am going to make the case to you concisely for once that SOFI has established a firm base at 7 and that the mechanics, the shorts, the turds can't push it any lower. It's recovering to 7. It hasn't been below 7 in a year, and it's up from here. The chart is telling us the stock is about to move one way or the other. This thing has been magnetically glued to 7 for 3 months, which is unheard of with the SOFI stock. They're always running, much larger swings, much more volatility. But, everything I'm seeing, including NOTO's behavior, the behavior of the smart money, options, the chart, the technicals, the fundamentals, everything is telling me this stock is about to make a massive, massive move up, and the mechanics are running out of steam. Guys, welcome and hello and hello and welcome. It is un poco mas. We have a holiday weekend coming up. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Keep it safe. Keep it sane. Be smart out there, guys. Don't do anything too stupid. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, but then again, don't do anything I would do. Either could be problematic. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello. Alberto is blocking everybody. Probably a pretty reasonable course of action, Alberto. I can't blame you on that one, guys. Let me share my screen. Let me put my big head down there over the comment. Guys, welcome and hello. Is anybody here? We hate the turd army. Not a lurker. How dare you? I can't believe you would say something like that. It's un poco mas. Guys, what are we talking about today? SOFI already recovered $7 on the day. The day's range 687 to 7. Opened up at 687. Pushed up a little bit and has just been, bleeding sideways and down. Algo's locked on the shallow bull pattern, but we have some bigger buys coming in. Volume extremely moderate. For no particular reason, volume jumped up yesterday. I think, what was it? I don't know what it was. I thought volume yesterday was quite a bit higher, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it was 20 million, 26 million, and then 28 million. So not too high. But on the day, guys, couple institutions buying, couple institutions selling. Overall, institutional ownership has been going up considerably. It doesn't really make sense because they keep talking about borrowing going down. But, Wednesday they borrowed 17 million shares net. Yesterday they borrowed 5 million shares net. It was low during the day. They borrowed a bunch after hours to set up their reindeer games and bullshit that they're going to do today. Today they're saying it's flat, 500,000 return. Don't buy it because this cost to borrow average is usually 0.4. Cost to borrow over 1% is almost unheard of on this stock. And you see the shares available kind of bouncing around, reflecting that. If you look at utilization, still above 70%, which it just doesn't really comport with the float, with the short interest going down quite as much. They're saying 16.55. If you look at Fintel, they actually had it more around 180 million shares, so this is more almost 18%. Days to cover has been very high. Now, if you look, I'm going to show you a little bit of detail on this just to kind of show you how this weekly thing works, because I've been preaching to you guys, hey, sell on that pop on Monday if you're going to do these short-term calls. Better yet, don't do them at all. But every single week you can see it, guys, and I'll show you on my whiteboard. Basically, they let the stock run up a little bit, maybe to 712, maybe 710, whatever it is on Monday, and then they just they accumulate a little bit on Monday, and then they just destroy the stock the rest of the week, exploiting retail weakness. But we'll get to all that, guys. It's really neither here nor there. In terms of the chart, the very important thing is since March to now, it's 3 months of consolidation right off of 7 here. You've had 1, 2 in consolidation, 3, 4 in consolidation, 5, and a lot of consolidation. And then this is your 6th hopefully bounce off that 7 area. We've already, anytime it goes below 7, it recovers. This is the only candle right here on, what would this have been, on 4:30, so the day after that big earnings dump, that the actual whole candle stayed under 7. Every other time it's either recovered 7 that day or recovered 7 the day after. The exception being right here where it actually sold off here in November, if you remember that one. But that was actually pre-pump. So this year the stock really, 7 has held up incredibly well. Everybody's saying, 5s, 4s, incoming. I don't see it, and I don't see it for going into effect soon. That shows that's what they keep saying, guys. But I never ever believe shorts are going to play by those rules. That those rules are going to be enforced. Remember, the regulators are kind of captured. If you understand capture theory, iron triangles, if you understand how government regulation really works, usually those being regulated capture the regulators, and the regulators kind of start doing their bidding. If you look at, these SEC cases and stuff, people are, caught doing horrible malfeasance, and they almost never get in serious trouble, and the fines are usually a tiny fraction of the money they absconded. So it's like, it's like, okay, you can steal this much money and then we're going to fine you 1% of it, maybe give you a slap on the wrist, a couple months in prison, but you're going to have all this tremendous wealth. And by the way, we'll let you just continue doing that over and over and over. That's just, it's insane in this, in this country. You rob a liquor store or something, which I'm not advocating, but you get many years in prison. If you're sophisticated, a white collar criminal, you rob, millions or billions of dollars, chances are nothing happens. It becomes a civil matter. You get a settlement, you get a slap on the wrist, whatever it might be. So every time they tell me they're going to crack down on Wall Street, every time they're going to tell me they're going to crack down on this, coordination, insider trading, short selling, naked shorting, it just never happens, guys. They keep, money flows from retarders. So again, when I look at this chart, I just look at this, wedge coming in here. I look at support holding at 7 since, really since end of last May, beginning of last June. What's more logical, that this stock is about to make a big move down below 7, or it's about to break out to the upside? Look at what's happening with the market. Look at what's happening with other fintechs. I mean, look at the move Robinhood made on a gold card. And I Robinhood had a great print. They had a great quarter, but it's based on crypto. It's based on crypto trading. And people who think, oh, crypto's here to stay, they just had some favorable stuff from the government, that can be very, very fickle if it starts to hurt the wrong people. Very powerful money and interests that, like I said, run the regulators, run this country, run the politics, own the judges. They, let's face it, guys, money and power run things. And, once entrenched, money and power does not like to give up money and power. So I think often these regulators are quite impotent, and, their enforcement is kind of viewed as a joke by those they're trying to regulate. At least it seems like it. Like anybody who thinks, regulators have Wall Street in line, it just really doesn't seem to be a reality. But guys, over to the whiteboard, you know it, you love it. So people say, oh, smart money's wrong. That's what's so frustrating. Smart money was wrong about SOFI. They didn't get the pivot. They thought student loans was going to sink the company, send it into bankruptcy, COVID, et cetera, et cetera. But they were wrong. Management persevered. Management pivoted. Management is executed brilliantly. And that's what leads to the frustration with the short-term price action is you're like, the shorts were wrong. The mechanics are wrong. I was right. Retail was right. Scoreboard, but stock's back at 450, but stock's back at 7, stock's back at 7, stock's back at 7, never goes anywhere. Where's our run? Where's our Palantir? Where's our moment? Where's our Sally Field moment? They like me. They really, really like me. But the fact is, guys, the mechanics weren't really wrong. They were wrong in a sense, but they just don't care. They're going to take the stock where they want it because retail is weak and their algos are not emotional. They can force retarders to react based on FOMO, based on panic selling, based on stop losses, based on all this thing. And what do you think payment for order flow is? They know what you're thinking before you think it. They know what retarders are doing. They see the patterns. Look at these weeklies here, guys. Okay, the only exception is April 29th, which was earnings. So the short ratio was 67%. So they just shorted the hell out of it That's number here. And then the rest of the week, 63, 53, 50. Stopped shorting a little bit on Friday. Then you see every Monday, 5-3, the short ratio, 37%. What happens Tuesday? Back to 50. Wednesday, 62, 58, 59. The following Monday, back down to 37.55. Exactly like that Monday. Tuesday, they suck you back in 36. Then 52, 60, back to 42. This Monday, 520, short ratio, 43. Then 67, 69, and 73% aggregate short volume ratio yesterday. This is unheard of. This is absolutely unheard of. And they're going to tell me this short is going down? Look at the pattern. That's why I keep telling you guys, I've been telling you so long. They pop it on Monday. They accumulate a little bit. They bleed it sideways and down. They run mini pump and dumps during the week. It is so incredibly predictable. If you don't want to listen to me, listen to Felix. He talks about these short ratios. He understands them like the back of his hand. Guys, the problem is shorting is very cheap and it's easy to unwind, and shorts are not afraid of SOFI, but maybe they should be. Shorts, turds, it's not really SOFI versus shorts. This is what I'm trying to explain. It's cold Vulcan logic, algo mechanics versus weak, stupid, emotional retail donkeys. That money only flows one way. NOTO's multi-year time horizon, 2026, 2027. He's not battling these shorts short term. He doesn't give a shit. His position is long. His options are long. His RSUs, PSUs, hair plugs, whatever it is, Botox, I don't care. Bronzer. His multi-year time horizon, his short-term battle is not against the shorts directly. It's running the company. It's steering the ship. It's making tons of tiny adjustments. He's hedging. He's adjusting. He's a general. He's a field general with great hair, but he can't fix stupid. He cannot force this retarder army to start making better decisions. Shorts don't care if they may be wrong or lying on fundamentals. They are cold-blooded killers. They are mechanics. If you play poker, if you're a really good poker player, it doesn't matter what cards you have. You play the man. You don't play the cards. You don't even have to know what cards you have if you're strong and your opponent's weak. If you're strong and your opponent's weak, you just run over him. You know? And that's what smart money's been doing to retail in this stock for the last 2 years. Hey, did anybody get the license plate of that truck that just ran me over? Nope. Okay, I'm good. So all this up here, guys, what they do on Monday, they suck people in on Monday, suck people into these short-term options. See, when I was doing this, I was buying them like the previous Thursday and selling them on Monday. Maybe Tuesday on the pop. I'd make 30, 50% every week for weeks and weeks and weeks. But then it stopped working. They threw in a crazy Ivan. I lost money. I got bitter. I started crying. This doesn't have anything to do with fundamentals. They just bait bull idiots Monday, accumulate short Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, keeping 7 calls outside the money. Of course, as you know, Anthony Noto acquired 29,000 more shares, and this is so much more evidence of why 7 is the new base. We're not going back to 5. We're not going back to 7. And this is true for ARK or whatever, but look at Anthony Noto's insider buys. Okay, if you go back a year, he was buying 50,000 shares at 473, 30,000 shares at 5, 20,000 shares at 5, 108,000 shares at 467, 40, and then skip up to November. Okay, November of last year, then he's buying 44,000 shares at 677. Then he's buying 15,000 shares at 669, 22,000 shares at 650. And then more recently this month, he's buying 29,000 shares at 690 and 29,000 shares at 692. Does Noto know what's going on with this company better than anyone else on earth? Noto and LaPointe and their executive team. So why has he moved his buy level from 5 to 7? Why is he buying anything under 7? Do you think he knows where things are going? Do you think he knows what the EPS is going to be this year, next year, 2026? Guys like Gary Gore are like, oh, projections are stupid. How could you possibly imagine what something's going to do in 2 years? It's impossible. I don't know. I'm just a big bullum-headed freak. But I'm a strong sell. I don't even understand the technology. Why make projections? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just asinine stuff. I'm out of that turd. But anyway, seems like a nice guy. Very affable, just, completely spewing a bunch of either misguided or just dishonest analysis. It's hard to say. But anyway, guys, that's evidence, ARK's evidence, the insider buying, insider sentiment is very strong. The institutional ownership continues to go up. 42,000 shares. But what people don't understand too, with 42% there's a hell of a lot of insider ownership, almost 20%. I know there's some overlap over some of these, but when you start talking about Chamath and Noto and all these insiders, it's a hell of a lot of shares tied up there. So there's some of these SPACs and some of these younger companies have a lot more insider ownership left. They haven't sort of diluted that out and kind of grown out of the percentage. So if you put insider ownership with institutional ownership together, I think we're getting very, very close to that magic 60% number. I have to kind of go back and add it up and see where it's duplicated and all that. But as far as the, Noto leveling up, if he thought the stock was going to go back to 5, he would not be buying all these shares just under 7. He knows the stock's not going back to 5. He knows what the earning is going to be. The earnings are going to be. Remember, guys, April, May, already almost over. Why is Noto buying here? Okay, he knows what the numbers are for this quarter. He knows what the traffic's like. He knows what the member ads are like. I'm sure he's getting updates on a daily basis, at least a weekly basis on the progress. They're tracking all this stuff. Why is he buying? Why wouldn't he just buy again in the 4s if that's where it's going? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. No new ratings basically coming out. I just wanted to make a point with how dishonest these guys are. Like saying Morgan Fudley was downgrading NEO and then they picked up like, 10 million shares last quarter or something. It's, if you back this out, like KBW, they initiated hold the stock at 18. Okay, hold the stock at 14, hold the stock. And so then from then on, they're just kind of chasing the price actions, sell at 9, sell at 7, and then hold. But remember, all these guys were pumping this stock when they wanted to suck retail in at 19, 20, 25 because they knew they were going to short it. They knew the deal. This guy, I don't know where that's, I just don't like that face right now. But anyway, guys, that's not really here nor there. Great article out in Seeking Alpha, but wanted to go back just to a couple of my notes first. So this is what I was talking about, guys. Noto's few buys in 2024, not because he doesn't like the stock. He just knows it held 7 since last June. I would expect the stock to recover 7, which it already did today. And I think it'll go back above 7 next Monday, almost certainly. Suck people back in. Just have to see. Take a look at Max Pain for next week. Max Pain for this week, of course, is 7 again, like it always is. If Q2 was going to be terrible, the stock will crash. Noto knows this. He's firmly in charge. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain because that man is Stock Karen. Noto's personal buying level has moved up $2. It's just a fact. From a year, the stock made a year of support from, whatever it was, April 2022 through May 2023, bouncing off the low, mid 4s. And then ever since it made that huge run through May 2023, ever since, the last day of May, first day of June, this stock has held 7. The narrative, they want you to think otherwise. Oh, it's going back to 4. It's crashing. It's not crashing. No retail is selling this stock below 7, period. And that's why I think, the short attack largely is running out of steam. It's not working. 2026 guidance suggests massive EPS growth. The way management generally sandbags, look for that higher side towards 80 cents. 2024 EPS, 8 cents. 2026, 80 cents, or even higher if they're sandbagging. So we're talking about a 10-fold increase in EPS in only 2 years. Think about where we are on that earnings growth curve, guys. And I just want to throw in just this criticism. Comprehensive options are a must, and SoFi's got to get those done now. I know we're not going to be the next Robinhood. I know these are not where complex people go to trade. But covered calls, cash secured puts, some of the things you guys trade, these are legitimate strategies to get your money right. You cannot tell me you are a leader in the fintech space with Galileo and you can't get a basic option suite done. I know they don't want to outsource it. I know they're building it. I know they're doing it. I've talked to numerous people at SoFi about it, even some people at the management level. Some people have told me it's going to be done middle of next year, early next year. I've heard some rumblings that it could be done this year, Q4. I don't know. But what I'm saying is you can't talk about IPOs, alternative investments, private equity, all this stuff, getting people's money right, how you're so advanced, how you give it, and then you can't even do basic options like covered calls, cash secured puts. There's no valid excuse for not getting this done this year. I want to see management respond to members. I know, the average member maybe isn't even a shareholder, not a trader. They just want basics, but a lot of this firm cult base, the turd army that is both members and big stockholders, they want to get this done. You're pushing business out the door. And I know it's difficult. I know, it's a big thing to build, but, don't brag about these other things. Don't brag about bringing me shitty IPOs if you're not at least letting me sell covered calls. You want me to get my money right? Let me make my own decisions. I'm a big boy, a little too big. Anyway, guys, don't know where I was going with mostly any of that, but let's get you a check of the live short interest. I know you kids love that. So just flat again, but watch what happens. Same exact thing the last 3 days, flat, and then it just exploded. Like I said, yesterday, 6 million shares. The day before that, it was 17 million shares. So when the data actually comes out in terms of the official report, which it should, this was May 9, so 24th. The official report should be out like today, actually, maybe aftermarket or, it should be out maybe today or perhaps Tuesday. But I think you're going to see that, jump. I think you're going to see it jump a lot. They've been shorting to hold it here, and there's just no other way to look at that. I just don't think retail's dumping. Yes, some people are losing patience. Idiots are getting stopped out at 7, but I think for the most part, anybody looking at this thinks this is going to move up. It's moved up, made these huge moves, 80, 100% in the course of, 4 to 6 weeks, numerous times. This consolidation looks the strongest I've ever seen it. I've never seen this stock consolidate like this around one level for 3 months. Look at this, guys. Look at how tight this range is. I mean, you're going only as high. It's bouncing off 785, 790 area every single time. It's just completely rejected at $8, completely rejected down here at $7, getting tighter and tighter, lower highs, same lows. It's got to move up. I mean, it doesn't, but that's what I think it's going to do. But I always say that. So, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome, guys. Welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas. That was kind of the thrust, if you will, of what I wanted to feel like, oh, that's why there's so much frustration. Because if you're wrong about a stock and the stock is fundamentally weak and it goes down, you're like, okay, I got that one wrong. But if you're right about a stock, and this is one of the SPACs that's actually a really, really good business, they keep growing, they're making money, they're giving us both guns and butter, they're giving us both growth and profits and profit growth. And projections are showing an explosion in earnings per share 2026 and beyond. And the market's just shrugging and saying, hey, we're going to value it as a bank. We don't value the tech side as anything. And by the way, go fuck yourself. And, what are you going to do? That's a funny bit in Family Guy where the Dick Cheney's a Walmart grader. He's like, welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Walmart. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Danny Dimes, what's up, Danny? How you doing? Lorraine, hello. Low Country Luton Pond is here. Pond people in the house. Pond people are always here. Danny Sombrero's here. Bookend Tackles, my fellow short leg lineman, is here. Brian Vader, already read that one. Richard Vaughn, have a great weekend. Jerk when he buy around. I guess thinking about abuse. Long Noto, I don't care if bad a little over 7 either way. It feels like as long as it just, it was. I mean, it consolidated around 5 for an entire year. Nomosite, and it's consolidated around 7 for an entire year. So 2 full years of consolidation. Vaughn, I do hate you all, but don't like and sub. Whatever you do, Richard Vaughn, don't like and sub. Colombian Kingpin, hello and welcome, Colombian Kingpin. We do not need more Danny deals. That's the last thing you need. It will drive your cholesterol through the roof, and it'll get your kids on the fentanyl. You do not need that. What's up, my guy? Not a lurker, so much not a lurker. God, that's the Reina Rio Mayor. Great time to buy. Great to hear from you, Danny. Our voice of reason, at least a voice. Grit and Grunt, we passed a reverse split authorization. I think it was authorized, Grit and Grunt, but I don't think there's going to be any reverse split. Noto doesn't want to fight the shorts like that. It's a horrible look for the company. Not going to be any fall below 5. Not going to be any reverse split. Just not going to happen. Is SOFI still SOFI? In my opinion, Mr. Premium of the Option, I'm not somebody who gets too worried about price action if the fundamentals are there. The market makers can do what they want. They can move the stock. I say this time and time again till I'm blue in the face. All you can do as a passenger is decide when you get on the bus, when you get off the bus. You can't decide how fast the bus goes, if it goes up or down. You can't decide the route. You can't, maybe it'll break down. It'll just sit there for a long, long time. And you get frustrated and you'll smell. And, you know, your neighbor will stink and he'll have bad breath and he'll just be eating Funyuns and he'll have dandruff and he'll just be some big fat asshole. But guys, you don't get to drive the bus. Don't get angry at the bus. Don't get angry at the market. Just get on the bus when it's low and get off the bus when it's high. Play your game. Play your game. You're in charge of what you do. Don't let other people, market forces, media, analysts manipulate your emotions. Go the opposite. Do the opposite of what they want you to do. They make money getting you to buy high and sell low. That's the bottom line. It's a zero-sum game. The market makers take your money. They take your lunch money. Stop letting them do it. Stop feeding the beast. Stop feeding the beast. Okay? Hello and welcome, guys. That was pretty much all I had for today. Shooting back down. Yeah, they're pushing it back down later in the day. Probably, definitely want to keep it under 7 just for the look. Only 16 million shares, really weak. Guru Focus, of course, you guys know this. CEO Anthony Noto is acquiring 28,900 shares. Take a look at any filings as far as institutional owners. Just take a little gander at that. Still at 4. This actually just went up a little bit. You can see the chart there of institutional ownership. Obviously, really nice pop. Just about to be at an all-time high level. The institutional ownership looks like never popped up above 450 million shares, and we're probably already over that once these filings kind of catch up. And then the institutional put call. This has actually gone a little bit up on the puts lately. Right here is about even, and then puts are calls are down a little bit, puts are up a little bit, it looks like. And then Vanguard hasn't had anything. Local filings, iShares, Russell ETF, IWB of 700,000 shares. Mainstay VP Trust Fund came in, looks like a new position, 141,000 shares. JNL Series Trust sold a few shares, 200,000 remaining. So some people selling a few, buying a few, but overall, it's just more and more filings, more and more institutions cautiously, optimistically buying in. But, we all thought, at least I thought, the GAAP net profit was going to lead to a pop like it did for Lending Club and some others. But I think what the market really wants is, that S&P 500 inclusion. It wants numerous quarters. This is kind of what Gary Garver, or whatever the fuck that guy's name was talking about. He wants proof. He wants, a number of quarters in a row, basically showing you that this is, and then a number of years in a row, showing that this model's for real, that this model's resilient, that this model can work in a down market, a down economy, high unemployment, high defaults, that this thing actually works, that it's actually been tested. And I completely understand that sentiment, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're a very conservative guy. He flat out said he doesn't even believe in growth stocks. He's just a pure value investor. What is the return? Completely safe. And that's fine. I don't have anything against that, but it's kind of like stay in your lane. That's not to say, okay, there's no legitimacy to investing in growth stocks. You said that, you'd have missed out on everything. But the key is, getting the right one, like I said, getting on the bus at the right time, getting off the bus at the right time, and don't make too many assumptions. But if a company, it's like if a company is only 3 years old as a public company, you can't ask them to be a 10-year-old public company. You can't fault them for only being 3 years old. It's like I said, if you had a 5-year-old son, you want him to play basketball, you're like, what the hell's wrong with you? You're not 6'8". It's like, but Dad, I'm 5 years old. What the hell's wrong with you? Take it easy, you son of a bitch. Go have another beer. You can't blame a 5-year-old for being 5 years old. You can't blame SOFI for going public fairly recently. And the evidence, if you're going to be evidence-based, if you're going to look at facts, if you're going to use critical thinking, all of the evidence suggests that SOFI is very much on track. Look at the two key metrics, guys. The tech growth and the direct deposit growth. The direct deposit growth lowers the cost of loans. It feeds that business. It's what making the company all the profits. The tech sector has to explode the revenues in the next 2 years. That's the only way they get to the 2026 projections. You useless freaking turds. God, I hate you guys. Very good article out in Seeking Alpha today by Yanis Zourpanos. Yanis Zourpanos. Sounds like a good Greek gentleman. SOFI, overblown concerns as a new bull case unfolds. SOFI stock dips post earnings. We all know most of this stuff. Despite a lending revenue drop, strategic adjustments, potential Fed rate cuts for SOFI's growth. Their previous entry point, 770, led to spikes above 9. This guy's kind of a swing turder. Recently consolidated between 850 and 650 based on Fibonacci extensions, which you know how I love Fibonacci extensions. I have hair extensions, guys. What do you think? These curls are real? This phony tail? That's why they call it a phony tail. That's why they call it a man bun, the man bun of fun. The price targets for the end, as not a lurker can attest, I've had a little bit too much coffee. This is delicious tap water. Unfiltered. Plenty of lead for my growing mind. SoFi is recently consolidated, so we know that they're saying target end of this year, optimistic $12.25, average 10, and pessimistic $5.70. So, okay, I can live with that. He is Yanis Zorpanos, a seasoned consultant, chartered accountant, blah, blah, blah. Investment thesis. I've already read all this. You guys can read it for yourself. Their last analysis, all this stuff. SoFi's trajectory, again, they're looking at 10 as kind of their median for the end of the year, which that would be a huge move up. That wouldn't be bad at all. Strong start in 2024, 26% revenue uptick, stellar 91% EBITDA growth. So they go through these results. We know all that. We know they raised their FY 2024 guidance, which is very exciting. New members surge 8.1 million, drives record $3 billion in deposits, 1.9 billion in Q1 loan sales, and they just released that, dropped some news PR on that $350 million what is it, assignment, some kind of loan sale deal. But another thing that just doesn't make any sense to me, guys, the value of things are relative. Don't people get that? Okay, so personal loans, there's always going to be a secondary market for personal loans, even with high defaults. SoFi has the highest quality borrowers in the whole damn industry. So if things start to go bad, if the shit hits the fan, I think in one sense, SoFi's loans will be relatively more valuable compared to that overall market because they have those super premium borrowers. They're going to have lower defaults. It doesn't matter if things are bad or it's going to be good. SoFi's loans are still going to be more in demand than these other companies. These glorified loan brokers, these cheese balls. Anyway, guys, so they benefited from 44% increase in new member additions, 622,000, growing its customer base to 8.1 million, record high deposits, great loan sales. Remember, that was one of the huge FUD points, was they can't sell loans. Nobody wants to buy their loans. Obviously, it's 180 degrees from the truth, and it's just completely asinine. Remember the Chia Pet saying at the end of last year, so if I would desperately need to do a money raise, I'd be completely out of cash. Absolute opposite happened. Depositors keep just throwing cash at them faster than they know what to do with it, and SoFi's balance sheet is extremely strong, not just from the deposits, but also from the two deals that they recently made, strengthened their lending capacity considerably, and if you look at their reserve ratios, they're far above what they need to be. So lastly, credit cards, investment products remain the heaviest areas of SoFi's investment financial service sector. Obviously, have been getting killed on the credit cards. While the unit currently generates loss about $100 million, expected to contribute similar profit to SoFi's money, improved economics at scale. Strategic acquisition propelled 21% tech revenue surge. Talking about Galileo. Galileo's the key. Galileo's the key. Galileo's the key. Galileo's the key. Welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. Sorry, guys. I think I only had 4 cups of coffee. That's the scariest part. And no pure Peruvian yam. It's just, it's a fat guy with a lot of energy. Who knew? So Galileo's been growing in strength, 20% year over year, increasing its accounts Q1 to 151 million. Look at this account growth in Galileo. Look at that's not Galileo. Sorry, Galileo's down here. Look at the actual trend. Now, I know there was a hitch here with this reset, but that was expected. If you really look at this, 36, we're all the way down here in the 30s. So, this has been 4 years. The accounts have 5x'd. I mean, I know you're starting from a very low number, so that growth can be a little bit, stupefying. But the bottom line is, guys, the growth is there. If it continues, I think 20% is going to go a lot faster than that, and I think revenues are going to increase sharply. Again, if if it doesn't, the math to get to 80 cents just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see how they're going to get there without a significant revenue growth and profit growth, in fact, coming out of the tech side. Additionally, acquiring cloud-native digital multi-product core banking platform Technesis has accelerated the development of SoFi's full-stack digital banking technology. The digital personal finance company has successfully delivered a member-centric digital one-stop shopping experience with the acquisition. Technesis is the real deal in strengthening SoFi's financial service segment. It operates as a next-generation banking system, replaces decades-old legacy systems. Consequently, the tech platform delivered a 21% year-over-year increase in revenue to $94 million. Not that great. Driven by strong performance from clients onboarded over the past month. That is good. Finally, Galileo and Technesis contributed 21% revenue increase. Technology platform, we know that. Bottom line, SoFi is unlike other banks. It has no brick and mortar locations. This is the key. This is the key to those juicy, juicy margins that I think are going to get well above 20%. It doesn't matter what you're selling, guys. It might be exciting to sell AI and, like Palantir. It might be exciting to sell chips like NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA, obviously on fire. Their profits are incredible. But SoFi is viewed as kind of boring. But the bottom line is they're going to have really good margins. They have good growth. Maybe call them just a bank if you want, but it's going to be just a bank that makes a hell of a lot of free cash flow. And the market's going to recognize that, and the stock is going to move up. You don't have to admit it, but you have to accept it. It's just the way it is. Management is performing. None of the FUD is coming true. And all these risks that they talk about, these higher defaults and these high interest rates and all this stuff, NOTO is hedging against all this stuff. Why do you think he makes these loan sale agreements the way he does? NOTO's hedging risk years out. The guy is playing chess. The rest of these companies are playing pocket pool. It's the way it is, guys. Let's get you one final check of the price action. I think it's going to make a little move up here into the bell. I really don't think they want to short it anymore, but there's only 16 million shares. Volume is just absolutely anemic. If you look at the big blast, it was on Thursday, big blast of volume late Wednesday into Thursday, and then Friday it's just back to an absolute whimper. And volume has been very, very tepid this week. Again, another reason I think they're setting up for a move up. Let's just take a look at what Max Payne is showing us for next week. Again, at 7. Yeah, so these are lining up. So it just doesn't look good for a big move up next week. I don't want to keep going out because it just gets more and more depressing. These don't take... So it goes up to 750 on 614, which, see, and then... So what the next... Back to 7. Okay, so back to 7, yeah. Just not looking at... any significant moves up. This is just too early. This is not very useful. Something I like to do, just sort of bang my head against the wall for no particular reason. I don't know. I think I got through all the crap on my whiteboard, all the crap in my brain, everything I wanted to say. Again, it's not a fight of good versus evil. It's a war of attrition. It's you sticking to your guns and realizing how stocks move up, guys. The way stocks move up is not at like a 30 or 45 degree line straight. They consolidate, they bleed sideways and down sometimes for a long, long time, and then they move up abruptly and quickly. And if you think you can time that, you're just fooling yourself. You can't. So you have to decide, you have to invest on fundamentals, use your covered calls, use your cash secured puts, use those option strategies. If the stock goes insane, don't be afraid to flip some shares and buy back in lower. Just watch the wash rule, watch your taxes, watch your bankroll, watch your diversification. I get very scared when I see people that I'm going to invest all my money in SoFi, guys. SoFi is too young, too risky, too speculative to put all your money in. I wouldn't put all my money in any stock, but if I did, it would be, something like Microsoft or something that has a decades-long track record of making tons and tons and tons of profit. Not something that just made its first 2 cents. I was 0 years old when I made my first 2 cents yesterday. Anyway, guys, hope everybody has an absolutely incredible holiday weekend. Remember to be very safe out there. Don't do anything incredibly stupid, especially like drinking and driving or stupid stuff like that, guys. Keep it smart. There's Ubers out there. We live in a modern age where you don't need to spend your weekend in jail because you had one too many hams. 2 months into this quarter be epic. Yeah, it would be epic if he but if he turned in a huge beat, it would be just as epic. He might want to catch those shorts by surprise, Brian Vader. Mr. Premium, I don't care anymore. Just writing turd out of it. It goes and goes. Let's go. Sub and do not sub and like whatever you do. Always rewriting, even on SoFi. Security, Zagnella. I made an error of overcommitting on margin back in Q4 2023, and now I have to chase my way back. And we've all made mistakes, Readout. Don't beat yourself up. Learn from it. Make the best tactical move you can make. Remember, you can't go back and get yesterday back. You can't, force tomorrow. You only have to decide today, right now. Make the best decision you can, and just don't beat yourself up about your mistakes. It's not the way to go. It doesn't make you any happier. It doesn't make you any better. It just makes you nervous, indecisive, and it's not good. Be confident, forgive yourself, and move on. Never been on margin, never will be, that kind of thing ain't for me. I have at times. I'm not trading on margin right now just because I just don't need to overextend. I don't need leverage right now. Q2 profitability is going to be, I expect a massive member growth. Guys, obviously they're setting things up for Q3, Q4. Huge beats in Q3, Q4. They're warning us, Q2 is going to be a little low. Margin plays a few and far between. SoFi price action released one more time. Sadly stayed under 7. Yeah, it's tough, man. We've all been there, and it is very tough. But there's still upside to the stock. 9. Yeah, that's Readout. That's not terrible. This could go over 9 real quick. It went to 1150. It went to 1060. Don't worry too much. 9's not that bad. People are way, way higher averages than that. What are 78 people doing here? Bunch of losers. In Arkansas, we just say F it. Yep, Billy Jack, that's the way to go. Fuck it. Arkansas, we say that in California too, Billy Jack. Payush, look at SoFi ads, NBA game tonight, Alex Mavericks, Minnesota Timberwolves. We got Memphis, baby, checking in. Payush, representing Memphis, Tennessee. He was walking in Memphis, and he's watching basketball in Memphis. Pop a cold one for us, Payush. We know you're loading SoFi. You don't even have to say it. I like Funyuns, not as much as Cheetos. I prefer Cheetos, and they don't give you that bad breath. But then, of course, you have the orange fingers of doom, where everybody knows you're a little fat turd, and you're closing in on 50 years old, and you're still eating Cheetos. And that's not a good look. Nomasite, 9 is good, man. Yeah, I completely agree with Nomasite there. Don't beat yourself up because the stock price is under your average. Doesn't mean the value's under your average. Doesn't mean you made any bad decisions. Trust Noto, trust management. I finally agree with something Not a Lurker said. Do not like and subscribe, but do trust Noto and trust management. Santa Ana in the house. C-Bar Engineering. C-Bar Engineering working hard, making it happen. Good to see you, C-Bar. Santa Ana checking in. Santa Ana and Plana doing some engineering. I don't know if he has a 6.4 Impala on hydraulics. I kind of doubt it as an engineer, but if he wanted to, he could engineer that shit himself. What are you useless fucks doing? C-Bar is out engineering a 6.4 Impala that bounces, and he's riding around with Ice Cube. Maybe institutional ownership is causing the unusual wedging. It sure seems that way, and I think, Brian, it has something to do with those deals, too. Those deals sent the stock into a real weird place. It didn't go up, but some really weird things started happening with borrowing. Yes, JR, it's Danny Jones. It's Hurricane Lopez. Today, Indiana Jones Day. Number 2, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello, just JR. Indiana deals, indeed. Grit and grunt. I trust Noto. Only reason I'm in. Danny's right. Need options. Selling for invest. You got it. Savage of Wall Street is here. Oh, my God. He's graced us with his presence. You know him. You love him. He's one of the internet's greatest credit card points guys. He's a covered call selling aficionado. He is my bloated stand-in for Jimmy Superfly Snuka. He is the Savage of Wall Street. Welcome and hello, Savage. Welcome and hello. Maria Powell is here. Good afternoon, Maria. Welcome and hello, Maria Powell. Good to see you. Not a lurker. I keep seeing your comments. Welcome and hello to you. J Money, thank you. And again, Alberto J Money, thank you for producing the show. Hey, Mr. Potato Head. I am Mr. Potato Head. Oh, Fibonacci, spaghetti, rigatoni. Yeah, a little vodka sauce, a little pink sauce, whatever, a little white sauce, a little red sauce. I like them all. But tomatoes are starting to give me an upset stomach. Too much tomato sauce. Oh, it's a shame. Don't get old, folks. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Not a lurker. Maria Powell, they're having a moment. Mr. Premier of the Option. Hey, Junior Maria Savage. Why don't you say hi to me, Mr. Premier of the Option? I'm here doing the show for you guys. Bearing my heart and soul, laying it all on the line. God, this hat's annoying. Let me go to this. Anyway, guys, Savage of Wall Street, you guys can't have a wrench. No way. What's up, turds? I would probably give Savage one. He seems pretty respectable for a he's baiting you guys into, buying his covered calls, but who could blame him? You guys are a bunch of weak turds, and he needs to make some money. Mr. Potato, hello and welcome. Galileo's not the key. Stop it. The key is going to be less shorting and more institutions holding, so they can, yeah, of course. Yeah, no shit. If people buy, it goes up. If people hold, it goes up. I know that, Savage of Wall Street. The key is less shorting is really a symptom. It's not the disease. The disease is that, look at Robinhood. Why did Robinhood make that huge run? Was it because they had a gold card come out that's going to lose them a ton of money ultimately? Or was it because they had, 80% institutional ownership? Think about it. Think about it. One of the weirdest characters in that movie, Falling Down with Michael Douglas, like that Nazi pawn shop owner. He's like, think about it. What a good movie, man. Falling Down. That was tour de force performance from Michael Douglas. Excellent. Outstanding. I'm buying the Big Dip in SoFi. Payush, you are the Big Dipper. I'm just going to call you the Big Dipper. Savage of Wall Street might be the Little Dipper. Anyone want to buy some covered calls for August? I'll buy those things from you, Savage of Wall Street. I know you need the money for new baseball caps, polo shirts, and audio-visual equipment. Freddie Lafitte and his band with the beat. When he's not in Mayberry, he is here doing Poco Moss. Good to see you, Freddie. Thanks for checking in. Nomasite, drinking and buying more SoFi. It's a drinking game. Buy 5 shares, drink 5 beers. See which one makes you rich faster. I got a hint for you. Neither of them will, because SoFi languages, and you're just going to be drunk, fat with a beer belly. Welcome and hello. Long weekend covered calls are going to burn the theta fast. Yep, you are going to be benefiting from the time decay of options. That's what he's talking about. If you sell options and nothing happens, you win. If you buy options and nothing happens, you are a big fat loser with a tiny willy. Hitting a little close to home? I thought it might. I'm speaking your language, Lorraine. That's English. I'm not putting all my money in SoFi. Balance my 405. I don't have 500 stocks, Lorraine. That's a hell of a, if you're picking all those individually, I think that might be a few too many. For me, 20 or 30 is a nice number. It's a number I can concentrate on. Then I own like 50 idiotic penny stocks. Freddie Lafitte, buy those covered calls from Savage. He needs more new neckties and glasses. Never go on margin. Just own the freaking stock. You can't afford it, don't buy it. Yeah, it just depends where your assets are, Savage. Like, I have a lot of most of my assets in real estate, so I might go on margin sometime knowing full well that if I have to pay it, I'm going to pay it. But don't go on margin with money you don't have. Or you can't afford to lose. Well, I'm going to have to watch the replay. Heirloom Cedar, good to see you. Bobby Joe, hello, Bobby Joe. That rhymes. Hello, Bobby Joe. Not a lurker, Freddie Lafitte. Savage, you don't have a house, live in a box. Hey, now, that's not nice. Freddie Lafitte, it's a fiesta now, boys. It's a party. He's baiting you into buying his covered calls. He always does that. That's his M.O. This tiny little souvenir Sunday Dodger helmet. It was much better when it had all the ice cream and stuff in it. It was absolutely delicious. Feed me. Who's that? It's that guy's name for the Cowboys, who looks like an Ewok. Their running back. I'm forgetting his name right now. I was like, feed me, Seymour. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I've been talking forever. I got a lot of work to do and need to take care of some stuff for Princess J. Drink filtered tap water. This does not look like the picture. Hey, the picture on the box can be a little bit misleading. You broke it, you bought it. That's what they said about me the day my mom birthed me and dropped me on my head promptly. But, I turned out okay. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm all talked out. The SoFi stock, ticker symbol, SOFI. Let me get you another check of this live short interest just for shits and giggles. Again, completely flat, not going anywhere. And the stock pulling back down to 692. Just a little shitter of a day. Little squibber, little nubber, little squibber to the second baseman. You're going to ground out. You're going to be thrown out promptly at first base when you're just about halfway down the baseline. Because you're a big loser. No, guys, this is it. Sorry, my hat fell off, but they want you to give up. They want you to sell here at 690. That's what they want, because they're going to send this thing way, way up, and you're going to be holding your pud because, you sold the dip and you smell the rip, and you're just a huge loser. Nothing I can do about it, but That's the way God made you guys. I'm very, very sorry. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Like I said, keep it safe and sane. Keep it between the lines. Buy some covered calls from Savage of Wall Street. And otherwise, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And like I said, also don't do anything I would do. Basically, don't do anything at all. It's like Paul Rudd said, do less. Anyway, I'd like to thank J Money, Not a Lurker. I'd like to thank Alberti Bertie Avalez for moderating the show today. Would like to thank Stock Karen, Not a Lurker, blah, 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 whoever the hell else here, Hurricane Lopez. Guys, I'm rambling. I got to go. Peace! Oh, sorry, I was buffering. I'm out.